That's right. I'm here at John Oliver Secondary, where we've actually, of course, we've been hearing in the news that we are at risk of losing wrestling for the 2020 Olympics. So Jody and Riaz, we thought we'd head out to a bit of a wrestling practice with Gladstone and John Oliver and find out why this sport is important to keep in the Olympics and how it's changed the lives of some of these students. Yeah, we're here again at John Oliver, where John Oliver and Gladstone are having a bit of a wrestling practice, of course, on the heels of the announcement that we may be at risk of losing wrestling for the 2020 Olympics. And Pratik, you're one of the co-coaches here. Let's talk through some of the moves, just for people to get a bit of an understanding of why this is such a great sport. Let's talk a bit about what these guys are doing here.
Okay, so these guys over here, he's just going to get an underhook on him, which just means getting the arm right on the bottom. He's just going to go for a double leg takedown. That's Juma. He's going to take a double leg takedown, get right behind him. And he just goes for a pin right there. So when he puts him on his shoulder blades, both the shoulder blades go on the down, that's a pin.
Okay, so you're trying to get the most number of points, and how many points would you get for a pin?
For a pin, it's just a match over.
A match over.
But every round, you should be getting 6 points over your opponent.
Okay, now I know there are several different styles of wrestling. Olympic style, could that be so closely related to what, freestyle or Greco-Roman?
Yeah, so they're all, this is the point system that's different. Like,
okay.
You know, they have almost the same movements, and there are different things that you can do for both wrestling.
Excellent. Now we're seeing another group right there. And the gentleman in the white, he's actually second in Canada.
Yes, he was.
For his weight class. So let's talk a little bit about the moves that they're doing right now.
Okay, so he just goes behind him, tries to get him down. So if his back gets exposed on that mat right there, he gets a 2 point. And you just need maybe, you can do a couple of those. So 6 points, to get 6 points, you just do 3 of those. And he can win that round.
Wow, well, there's so much to learn, Jody and Riaz. For more details, of course, on I guess possibly the ways that you could potentially save wrestling in the Olympics, I think you could probably Google some various Facebook pages. I know there's several petitions that are out there. We're going to learn a little bit more also about how this sport changes the lives of these students and why it's so important for them to keep it in the Olympics.
Oh, you're still on, still standing.
Not quite yet, that's right. No, I'm scared to get into the ring with these guys. They're a lot better at that than me. We're here at John Oliver Secondary, and John Oliver and Gladstone right now are doing a bit of a wrestling practice. Jody and Riaz, when we think about the potential of losing wrestling out of the 2020 Olympics, it might seem like, you know, who does it affect? Well, I'm telling you what, the guy that's on top there right now in the white shirt, it could very much affect him, and we're going to hear his story coming up next. He's number 2 in Canada. Yeah, definitely on the heels of the announcement that we could be at risk of losing wrestling in the 2020 Olympics. So we're here at John Oliver, where John Oliver and Gladstone are doing a bit of a practice right now. And Pratik, maybe tell us a little bit about what the appeal is of wrestling, specifically for someone like you as well, who actually graduated from this school.
Yeah, I mean, whenever we wrestled over here, like, you know, we didn't have mats before. So what we did was we just went down to a memorial park and we just wrestled over there, right? It's like, you know, it's for everyone.
So rich or poor?
Doesn't matter. So it's for everyone. Whenever you get into the mat, it doesn't matter how much money you have, you know. It's basically you're just doing whatever you have. Like, it's a motivation.
And we're actually seeing a couple of the students right now actually competing schools, doing Richard and Tori right now. What are they physically doing?
Oh, so Tori's just going for a single leg, and just a good transition. From there, he's just going to go right into a cross ankle. When he does a cross ankle, he basically gets 2 points because he just turned him right over, right? And that's a 3 point.
And now we've got lots of students here right now. So is it by weight class? Is it by age? How does it work as far as the pairings?
So there's different weight classes from 38 or 35,
okay.
I believe. It goes all the way to 130.
Excellent.
So basically there's a huge range of weight classes.
Well, let's bring Tori over right now, because when we talk about who does this affect, this announcement that we potentially could lose wrestling in the 2020 Olympics, this actually could affect you. You are number 2 in Canada. When you heard this news, what did that mean for you?
I lost one of my potential goals.
Yeah, because this would be your Olympics 2020,
yeah.
right? So when we talk about wrestling, what do you get out of it personally?
It teaches me a lot of discipline, and I get a lot of hard work. It teaches me that hard work gets me somewhere.
And we wanted to get this guy to the Olympics, right? 2020 would be his year. Look at that face. Why wouldn't you want to do that? Google some petitions online, Jody and Riaz. I know Facebook has a few petitions out to see someone like Tori make it to the 2020 Olympics, specifically in wrestling. We have to try to see if we can keep it in the Olympics. So sign those petitions. Of course, it's not a done deal yet. People can have their voices heard. I'm not flipping out, but Ron, how do you think I compete against these kids? I'd probably get my butt
You know
kicked.
what? They are so agile and strong at this age. It's a little intimidating to be on the mat with them.
No kidding. We're here at John Oliver Secondary, where John Oliver and Gladstone, you actually do your practices together here as well, right?
We do practice a lot of the time. Sometimes they come to Gladstone, but a lot of them happen over here. They have a huge squad here, so frequently we come over, set up the gym and work out together.
Very cool. Now, of course, we've been talking a little bit about the discussion that there's a potential that wrestling could be eliminated from the Olympics in 2012. Let's move on from that a little bit and talk about some of the good news stories that we're hearing. You guys were just at Zones.
We had Gladstone hosted the Zones, so all the way from the Sunshine Coast of Vancouver came over. North Van, West Van. It was awesome. We had over 200 athletes competing all day Friday. And now, as a result of that, what's awesome is Gladstone is sending 5 wrestlers to the provincials in Duncan at the end of the month, and John Oliver is sending 11 athletes.
That's awesome. Now, we were talking just a little bit off camera too. That was interesting to me is when they're off the mat, the amount of camaraderie I'm seeing, and surprisingly, it seems like quite a civilized sport, despite, you know.
Well, there's so many misconceptions about what wrestling is now because there's MMA and there's all these different things. This is the civilized version, the Olympic version, where there's lots of rules around it, as well as just an honest intent in here. So you're on your team, but you could be competing against your teammate. So there's always these really, for lack of a better language, gentlemanly rules of respect and just common respect.
And I love that we're seeing some girls here as well. There are a few girls that are getting into the sport.
Every year we get more and more girls coming out, and it's awesome. And I guess the thing a lot of people don't understand until they see it is you wrestle by weight class and you wrestle by gender.
Wow.
So you're always against somebody relatively the same weight and build, and you're also only wrestling your own gender.
So really, other than the gender, you and I could take on. No, I know. I'm just.
I don't think
we're
so.
We're about the same height. We're about the same height.
Go with height.
Anyways, Michelle, lots of fun here again at John Oliver Secondary with Gladstone as well. We got lots more coming up throughout the morning. Thanks very much, Ron.
Thank you.
Sounds good. It looks like us wrestling for the makeup chair in the morning, Dawn.
We've got members of this school as well as Gladstone. I want to find a little bit about why you love wrestling. What does it give to you?
For me, it's not just a sport, it's a lifestyle, and it teaches you how to be healthy and how to think healthy. And even though it's just you and the opponent on the mat, it wouldn't be anything without like a good team and a good support behind you.
I personally like the feeling of once you're on the mat, nothing else matters.
I love that. What about you?
It doesn't matter like your height or when you wrestle or something. You just wrestle and be healthy.
I love it. It doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor, tall or short, girl or a guy. We want to wish these guys all the best as they get ready to go to provincials in a couple of weeks. Jody and Rhea has lots more coming from John Oliver Secondary in just a few minutes. That's right, and we're here at John Oliver, where we've also got members from Gladstone here doing what particularly, Pratak?
So this is conditioning. Just we have to make sure that our legs are, we're getting ready for the matches, and usually we have to pick up the guys. So basically, this is one good example of just doing squats, making sure that your leg is really strong. When you go to the match, you got to be able to lift up the guy and just put him down on the mat to get some points.
Well, these kids are in great shape. We're going to give them a bit of a break. Do they want to come on over? We want to get, of course, their views specifically about wrestling, because, of course, just on the heels of the news that we may have wrestling eliminated from the 2020 Olympics, so we thought we'd come out here and find out a bit about why you love wrestling.
The reason I love wrestling is like the feeling you get after you win your first match.
Awesome.
Yeah, anybody can do it. Like anywhere, anytime, you can wrestle.
Excellent. Lots of inspiring stories. What about you?
It's just fun throwing like your opponent onto the ground most of the time.
How did you get into wrestling?
Funny story, it was my boyfriend, but he ended up quitting and I ended up liking the team. The team element is probably my favorite thing about wrestling too. It's not just a team, but we're like a family.
Excellent. Yeah. What about you? What does wrestling mean to you?
I don't know, but I like that we're really teammates. You're really close with your teammates. It's like your family away from your family.
Excellent.
I just love to interact with the sport and our teammates. Like Tori said, it's just sport to love. Yeah.
Excellent. And I know that you actually have a bit of inspiration that was given to you by your coach, right?
Yeah, when I was younger, since wrestling is a hard sport, and I'd always give up a lot. My coach actually once told me, a boy has 1,000 excuses, but a man finds one way not to use any of them. And when I heard that, it impacted me. It made me work even harder and do what I do today.
Excellent. How about a round of applause? Yes. Thank you so much to John Oliver and, of course, Gladstone for being a part of this. We really appreciate this. And we know, Jody and Riaz, that it's not a done deal that wrestling is for sure out in the 2020 Olympics. We know that it's a big possibility. There are ways people can still have their voice heard, regardless of the outcome. Make your voice heard. And you know what? Big round of applause again. Have a great day, everybody.
Great job, all those kids coming out this morning.